What's your nationality? What's your Puerto Rican, Mexican, what?
Mexican and...
Look at the bottom, last one. Yeah, you're Israelite.
Israelites, right?
You are a Israelite. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
How did you find out that you're Israelite?
Honestly, Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar?
Didn't we say that was gonna happen?
Kendrick Lamar is literally opening up the minds of other young men. You know? He's the truth.
Well, he's cool. He's not the one. But you know, our Lord and Savior, he's the one. But what he did was when Kendrick Lamar mentioned that opened up a plethora of people now that they can listen. Now, what is an Israelite? That's what it was, because you didn't know you was an Israelite.
I did not.
3-4 weeks ago, right? So now that's what the Lord did. That's what everything is done because of the Lord. You know, and that's why you're here right now at this moment. It was predestinated for you to stand right here, to come by and see it. The men that preached it. We've been doing this for years. Never seen you before. We've been right here for years.
Yeah, I've never seen you.
But now, understand now that as an Israelite man that you are, y'all are Mexican. Y'all Issacharites.
Let me get Issachar.
Yeah, he go Issachar real quick.
This is Genesis 49 and 14. Issachar is a strong ass, crouching down between two burdens.
Hey, Issachar, you know what an ass is? Ass is a donkey, but a donkey is a beast of burden, which it takes weight. Mexicans are hard workers, man. I ain't gonna say every last one, but most of y'all, everybody, Mexicans are very hard workers, man. So that's what it said. They're a strong ass. Cross between two burdens means North America and South America. Because North America, the word America means bitter, and that's a burden. And America means bitter, and South America means bitter too. So North bitter, South in Mexico is between both of them. It's in the middle. It's between both of them. So that's what it says, crossing between two burdens. And what's the flag for Mexico? What's the flag used to be? What it used to be? Do you remember? The flag before the one they got now. What was the flag now? Before that, Mexico. It was a border. It was a donkey. It was a donkey. So that's why I say the ass, a strong ass. The Lord know what He's talking about.
Yeah, Issachar means He is higher.
He is higher, and you are, because everything you do.
That's the reason why Donald Trump doesn't want you in America.
That's why.
Because you take all the jobs. You know you're some of the hardest working people.
Hardest. Not next to me though.
Hey, I got another precept. Are you finished? You got more?
And one more verse.
Give me how the 10 tribes got over here.
Okay. Verse 15. He saw that rest was good. Like what is rest in Spanish?
Rest in Spanish, siesta.
Yes.
Siesta. That's okay. Go ahead, say it again.
He saw that rest was good.
Rest was good. Now that's what he's talking about. Go ahead, keep reading.
And the land that it was pleasant.
See, this is another land that he went into. He said he saw that the land. He said the rest was good, so it was a siesta. He said, and he saw that the land was good, which was Mexico. That was that time. All right, go ahead. Because we're going to get to how our people got over here. I'm not a so-called black man. If you want to know, I'm a so-called Gadite. My father's people are Native Americans. Yeah, they Native Americans. You wouldn't know that. You know, he's straight up. My grandfather's name was Wahoo. So he was a straight up Indian. You know.
But then you got some Hispanic people, because have you ever heard of a guy named Gaspar Yenga? You know that they had Mexicans in slavery too. Yep. Yeah. And as well as the Mexicans were enslaved as well as Negroes. They were enslaved in Mexico. And there was a man named Gaspar Yenga, and what he did was he got together. He was a so-called Negro man. He came together with Hispanics, and they helped to overthrow the so-called white man that had them in slavery in Mexico. Look him up, Gaspar Yenga. So you got so-called Negroes in certain parts of Mexico. They look Hispanic, but really they Negroes.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yep. I read that.
Now, okay, Con.
And bowed his shoulders to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. You know, when the conquistadors came over and basically destroyed the Issacharites, even some the northern tribes, basically, they became servants and tribute because they
became slaves.
Yeah, they became slaves.
They were slaves before we were slaves.
They had them slaving for that gold, and if they didn't have a certain quota of that gold, they had chopped their arm off, they chopped their balls off. They was doing horrifying things unto our people.
And that's the reason why it says what it says in Jeremiah. It said the children of Judah and the children of Israel were oppressed together. You know, because the so-called white man oppressed both of us. He came over here and oppressed, our brothers and sisters that are Hispanic first, and then he brought us over here in cargo slave ship afterwards. Now, you say you're Mexican, right? Yeah. Another name for the so-called Mexicans would be Aztec. What were a notable thing that the Aztecs were known for? Mathematics. What else?
Their rituals.
Aligning their temples with the stars, and with different solstices. You know, the winter solstice, summer solstice, and different planets. They also had calendars also. You know. Now, according to the Bible, you know, this is how that's another way that you identify them, because that's an attribute that they were blessed with from the Lord. So this is 1 Chronicles 12 and 32. And of the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do.
Well, remember 2012 when they had that Mayan calendar? Yeah. Together, basically you got the Mayans and the Aztecs. It's the Mayan calendar. They had Zebulon. Well, Zebulon came and tenant with Issachar. So it was another thing. They came, they chilled with them. Zebulon is like the Panamanians and things like that. But when you brothers, you were the ones that got us over here. Dude, because y'all can read the stars. The time y'all can read it. That's why the Lord had you had the blessing of that. You know, that's how we got over here. Because you brothers held the forefront and they navigated us over here through the stars of the Lord. Because the Lord had us do it.
Hey, there's ways that you can look at the sky. Like there's 3 stars that's in the sky that's next to each other. When you look at that, you know that you're headed west. When you look at those 3 stars. I don't know exactly what it's called, but I noticed that there's 3 stars and they're like 3 dots in the sky, and they're always pointing west. But then you also you have other stars. You got the North Star, you know, which lets you know that you're going north. What's the opposite of north? What's the opposite of west? That's how Issachar was using the skies to help to navigate our people around, and also to tell us that you know what time to irrigate, you know what time to plant, you know what time to harvest. You know, they're good at what? They're good at planting. They're good at harvesting. You know, crops. Matter of fact, when the so-called white man came over here, if it wasn't for the Latinos and Native Americans, you know, the Hispanic tribes, they would have died. Because they didn't know how to plant, they didn't know how to do anything. You know, but afterwards, because we're friendly people, you know, we're the kind of people that want to live at peace with all people. But we know better now, because after we befriended this devil, you know how he broke the treaties, how he still killed us, how he gave us diseases, you know how he put smallpox in a blanket. You know, now we know that he's the devil. So now we're in the spirit of, okay, well you're the devil and we don't want to have anything to do with you. Right. You know, the whole world is corrupt because of him. The things that are happening down there in Venezuela, it's happening because the so-called white man is in power. He's the one that's over the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. You know, he's the one that, okay, he made it to where your country can't survive without him. So here it is. You can have a run in your country, but eventually you're gonna run out of money and you're gonna go into debt, and then you have to borrow money from the International Monetary Fund. So when that happens, your country is fucked, because now they own your country. So then you're gonna start seeing situations like Venezuela. You know, and in Brazil, Mexico, what's happening in Mexico right now with the gas? The gas is $15 a barrel. Who's the head of OPEC? Who's the head of all of these different oil and gas companies? It's the so-called white man is behind that.
And when he take oil, I'm gonna just say, look, side note, when he takes oil out the earth, that's like the blood. It's like when oil hit the tectonic plates, it lubricates. When you take it away, earthquakes. That's why it's earthquakes in diverse places, because they sucking oil out the ground. Now we're gonna get into Issachar, and we're gonna get into the tribes, how they got here, so y'all can understand how we got over here. Because we originally from Jerusalem, Israel.
Okay.
You from Israel. We're brothers, right?
Yeah.
We split, and we were warring against each other at a time too. Y'all went under Israel, and we went under Judah. I mean, I was, Judite. I mean Israel, but we were split at one time. That's why there's a parenthesis right here, because these are the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. All right. So we're gonna start with give me who got
I got second Ezra.
You got go ahead, give me second Ezra. So pay attention real quick. We're gonna give it to you. We don't want to hold you up if you got something to do, but the Spirit of the Lord brought you here.
This is second Ezra.
This is something you want to hear.
And 40. These are the 10 tribes.
The reason they say the 10 tribes is because it used to be mainly Judah and Benjamin. These two tribes used to only be in there, but these are the 10 tribes because these are the Levites were the priests. Okay, we get now let's go ahead. Read that from the top.
These are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king.
Okay, because at that time you were in Israel, but at one moment we were warned against you. So Hosea the king, the Lord sent Hosea the king and took you into the 10 tribes all the way down into captivity into his land, and then he put other nations in your land, the land you were in. Go ahead.
Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive. He carried them over the waters, and so came they into other lands.
Yeah, he carried them into another land. He said he carried them and took them into captivity, and then carried them to another land and hit to his land. All right, so now you're in Assyria. Our people, we are in Assyria in captivity. Now, look what they said. Look what they said they're going to do.
But they took this counsel.
After a few times, and they got away. They said what?
But they took this counsel among themselves.
So all the 10 tribes took counsel among themselves. Go ahead.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
So while the heathen we was under captivity, they said, okay, now we're going to leave the multitude of the heathen and go. So these, because if you correspond the names, Dominican, so both like Indian, like Indian, all right, tribes. Go ahead.
And go forth into a further country, whether no mankind dwells.
So now they said we will leave this country and we're going to go into a further country where no mankind is dwelt. What land was that? Nobody was over here. They were over here. The reason that the Zidonians at one time, the brother got it. I think the brother has it. At one time, Solomon had a navy, and when the navy came over here, these were African Zidonians, what you call Canaanites today. South Africa.
Those Olmec statues.
Yeah, that's why they got the big Olmec statues down there. Those were Africans over there at this time. And you got
to graffiti.
And they're kind of. And they was over here at that time because they were here before. This is called the land of Canaan.
That's the reason why Canada is called what it's called.
Yeah, Canada
means
land of Canaan. Canaan. It actually means Canaan because the Zidonians, the Canaanites came over here. So all America is called Canaan. Like Israel is actually Canaan also, because that was the land that we took over from them, but the Lord got us to go in the land because they already had everything prepared. They had houses already, they had lands and farms. He just said get it from them because they were filthy as fuck. So he made us he had us take it away from their ass.
Yeah, they were coming over here with the other Israelites, that Solomon had set up because the Lord gave Solomon wisdom of all things.
Everything.
So he knew about the heavens, he knew about the ocean, he knew about the different lands that were he knew about the different animals, he knew about pretty much everything, Well, not pretty much, he knew about everything. So he knew that America was over here, and that America was uninhabited, but it was also rich in resource. Right. I'll tell you another person that knew about this place, Moses, as well.
Now think about it. Remember they used to think the earth was flat and you would fall off? The only way Christopher Columbus figured it out because he read the book of Ezra and figured out that it said the earth is a circle He knew through the Bible that the 10 tribes went somewhere else because they couldn't find them. You know, they didn't know where it was at.
Isaiah as well. You know, in the book of Isaiah, you know, because they were reading the Bible. We established the Holy Roman Empire, you know, but then after they came in, they established the Roman Catholic, you know, church, you know, but they were reading our scriptures. So they knew about the book of Isaiah where it says that the Lord sits upon the circle of the earth. Yep. So they knew that the earth was round, as well as connecting that with the scripture that the brother's reading right now. You know, it talks about how our people came over here. When they sailed on those boats, they didn't fall off at the end because they thought that you would fall off. But this is how you know that the earth is round. When you see Columbus knew this. When you see a ship that's sailing in the ocean and it gets to a certain part and it looks like it's beginning to disappear, that's because the earth is round. Yeah, it's curved. So he knew that at that time they thought the earth was flat, you know, but he was able to prove that it wasn't. You know, and a little history on Columbus, because they got a statue around the corner. This is one of the places where, you know, where it was a settlement of the Italians, you know, in the
what's the name? Cadillac French. You're talking about this? You're talking about Detroit?
No, there's
Italy down here, around the corner. You're right.
You know, because they felt like they wouldn't have been able to find this place without Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus knew that he wasn't going to India. He knew that he wasn't going to find a trade route to India. Right. He knew that he was coming to America, and he knew that America was rich in resources: gold, silver, you know, ivory, apes, peacocks, fruit, all manner of different minerals, because it says it right here in the Bible. Go ahead.
Kings 10 and 22.
First Kings.
1 Kings 10 and 22. For the king had many. The king that is talking about is Solomon, King Solomon. Go ahead. For the king at sea, a navy of Tarshish with the navy of Haram. Once in 3 years, the navy of Tarshish.
It said 1 in 3 years. Once in 3 years. Go ahead. The navy of Tarshish. Go ahead.
Bring gold, silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks.
So he said the navy of Tarshish. He said the navy every 3 years the navy of Tarshish would bring what again?
Gold, silver, ivory,
apes, and peacocks. Where did they get them from over here? So, because once that's how we gonna once every 3 years we gonna get it when he started reading. How it was once every 3 years. You'll see how the number made, how it was. Go ahead.
So King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches, for his wisdom.
So that's how he preceded all the kings of the earth for rich, because he came over here and it was just gold. Issachar had gold. They was just playing that shit like marble. Some of over there in Mexico, they had gold every goddamn way. It was just like nothing. It was everywhere. So it was just nothing to them. So when the Zidonians came over here, there was nobody on the land. But then later on, that's how we knew, because Solomon knew the route to get here. That's how he got them over here. So that's how the Zidonians knew, the Canaanites, which are the South Africans that today, Nelson Mandela, they knew how to get over here because Solomon knew everything. Now he said he brought apes, peacocks. That's what you got all over in South America and everything. All right, go ahead.
For all the earth sought Solomon to hear his wisdom.
That's it.
He said, yeah, he saw it because everybody knew Solomon understood. Go ahead, bro.
This is back in 2nd Ezra 2. 2nd Ezra 14 and 42. That they might.
No, top. You go to the top. Yeah.
Okay. 2nd Ezra 13 and 40.
39. Yeah.
Start from 39?
Yeah, start from 39.
Okay, 39. Whereas thou sawest gather another peaceful multitude. Unto him, these are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, with whom Salmanasseh the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into